Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Jimmy and thank you so much for joining me today for yet another fragrance review. Today we're talking about one of my favorite scents, Chilling by the Pacific by Dua Fragrances. Now, this fragrance is delicious. It makes my mouth water and it's a great way to test who around you is an insane person. Because if you spray this on and if they say it just smells okay, cut that person out of your life. They have no business being around you because you only want people that get it. And this is not hard to get, as in like understand how delicious it is. It's primal. You smell this, you go like, am I on vacation right now? Am I with the coolest person in the world? I'm maybe being a little dramatic, but I'm not stretching it all that much. Because when I first smelled it, my first impression was like, wow, just when I thought the fragrance of citrusy and aquatic couldn't be explored any further, they come out with something like this. And Louis Vuitton did a fantastic job. And I'm saying this because I know Louis personally. We're good friends. And I asked for a free bottle, and they said, no, you're going to have to go buy it yourself. Pay $350 for 100 ml. And I thought, you know what? I'm good. I'll just stick with the Dua version. This was a blind buy for me. I did not sample this. And when I got it instantly, if they had 100 ml of this, I would have gotten it. It smells great. It stays on your skin for a very long time, considering the fact it is a citrus fragrance. I mean, if this blew away with the wind in about 30 minutes, I'd be understanding of it, especially because, it's citrus and they don't last all that long. So I have not tried the Louis Vuitton version, okay? I have not even sampled it. I'll be honest with you, every time I walk by the store, they look at me like this, they throw garbage at me. And they say, why don't you come back when you look somewhat presentable? And sweatpants are not for outdoor wear for the normal public. I'm wearing sweatpants right now, but I'm in the comfort of a studio. Anyway, I was saying that Louis Vuitton's fragrance is very expensive. And if you have 350 bucks lying around and you want to have the real version and this one next to it and just use this version, and while saving and conserving the real stuff, the real juice, a lot of rich collectors tend to do that. That's up to you if you want to do that. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I just have multiple versions of things. I don't have one as a backup in that sense. Citron, orange, lemon, mint, blackcurrant, coriander. Maybe there's that green note in here. Actually, let me spray this. They did improve their atomizers, did they not? The little wooden cap here changes from time to time, but that's cool. Man, that is fresh. I feel like there's more like mint in here. This is like a minty fragrance. Now that I'm spraying it on paper, I don't really get more mint on my skin. It's really popping off on this paper. It's very fresh and refreshing and mouth-watering at the same time. It's not like you're eating a cough drop. You guys get what I'm saying? It's not a menthol flavor that you're getting. It smells like a breeze, not like a York peppermint patty. Like, oh, it's cold, it's menthol. It's like a fresh, cooling sensation that I'm getting off paper. Interesting. On my hand, I think it warms up and covers up that mint a little bit more. But then again, I'm not a big heavy sprayer. This is an extrait de parfum concentration, and I'm just looking for that lime feeling. That's really good. Let me spray this other one. This is really disorganized, this video. This is Pacific Coast by Alexandria. I also get a cooling sensation in my nostrils. Hold on a second. You guys are getting this real time. They're both kind of minty, and I love mint fragrances that are done right. I find that a lot of people do. It's hard for me to tell which one is which. In fact, I used to think Louis Vuitton's interpretation here, Pacific Coast by Alexandria, was fruitier, but I might be mistaking that with their fragrance Orchestra, which is also a Louis Vuitton interpretation. So a lot of these Louis Vuitton fragrances kind of smell similar, right? Which is the best? It's hard for me to say, but I do know Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton gets a lot of votes. People really love that fragrance. Off the nozzle here, I feel like Chilling by the Pacific is a little bit more limey. By a little, I'm splitting hairs. They're both good, guys. I can't decide. I'm sorry. I'm not a very decisive reviewer, which is kind of the point of being a reviewer, is being decisive and telling people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. I don't think you can go wrong with these. Why do I have both of these? Well, I bought this one first, and I got into Alexandria later. And Alexandria has sometimes more of a designer touch in their other fragrances. It just so happens that the fragrance that they're interpreting here is also very designery in its scent profile. In its construction, I'm sure it's very niche, very transparent and delicious. I'm getting a little bit more lime here, but on paper, which is the overall neutralizer here, I feel like Dua's a bit more dense, a bit more thicker in terms of its citrus, and maybe it's a different oil concentration, being extrait, and this is a ED extrait de parfum as well. These are both extraits. That doesn't mean they're the same, however. It could just be marketing, but they do last long for me. I spray about 2 to 3 of Pacific Coast, if we're going to get into a little comparison here. I spray 2 by Chilling by the Pacific. No real reason. I just want to conserve it. And 1 is good, but 2 is better. It just smells so good. Really quickly, guys, let me just go over a few more notes here. Apricot, we have basil, more green notes, carrot seeds, interesting. Rose, I don't like really rose in anything. Dates, fig, so dried fruits, which I don't get too much of, but who doesn't love a good fig? And ambrette, which I actually thought was amber, because I thought, oh, there's something kind of grounding this whole thing. A little bit of maybe some vanilla amber type of scent. And ambrette is actually a fixative, and from India, it's from a plant. It has a musky scent. So maybe kind of like ambroxany type of component that kind of mellows things out, but mainly just to kind of give it power. I believe there's probably a lot of that in the Dua version. I think that 350 is a stretch for this fragrance. However, I will say, before Louis Vuitton's version, I didn't smell anything like this before. So for 350, you're paying for the innovation. You're paying for something really new at that time. Now, there's a lot of fragrances that are kind of smelling like this. What's the other one? Roja Dubs, they have an Elysium fragrance. That's more bluish, and that's been done to death. And they kind of broke the barrier by making that scent, right? This is kind of breaking the barrier for fruity, fresh scents that I just cannot describe very well in words. This scent profile. Nothing else quite smells like Louis Vuitton's fruit fresh fragrances. In fact, the only ones that kind of smell like Louis Vuitton's fresh fragrances, fruity fragrances, are other Louis Vuitton's fresh fragrances. And they just do it the best. So they broke that barrier, and good on them. So they're charging a premium for it. Luckily, we have alternatives now between Alexandria's and Dua's. And I gotta say, when we're talking about just Dua specifically, I recommend this fragrance. You cannot go wrong. You can get a discount right now for 30% off, I think, on just one or several put together. Either way, it's a good deal. Get a few if you can, and try not to get too overwhelmed with all the other choices that they have. You cannot go wrong with this one. This is a fantastic unisex fragrance that men tend to favor on ourselves. And when we do that, we're very confident. We can wear this every day. I mean, if you want to get into it, gym, work, date night, I think this will work anytime. I like wearing this just around my apartment. It makes me feel good. It's something interesting about myself that I kind of get, that I don't get too tired of my nose. In fact, I can't get enough of this. I want to just smell it all the time. It's so different. How did people not think of this before? Hey, just goes to show there's more uncharted territory in the land of fragrance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gives you some sort of value. I'll try and be more specific and directional in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.